is you have the quick connect for the battery. That's all set there. We got the wireless adapter for the winch. So originally the winch just had the corded controller on it, and so it was a two-man operation, and it was nothing's fun about a two-man operation. So we got the wireless adapter. So now just hit a button and it works, so I can control it and do the whole thing by myself. So like I said before, normally I've got a block under there to when it's being hauled, so it's sitting on something solid, but I've gotten that out, and I just adjust this, tilt the dolly down until it looks like when I pick it up it's going to get a lot of that landing gear off. So that should be about enough there. That's all it takes. It's just, I got 2 fingers in it because I don't want to mess up the paint, which is just that's a me thing. But it doesn't take nothing to lift it, and so then we'll get our remote here, and this is all it takes. And that's all there is to it. So let's go around now and see everything I did to make this happen. So this whole idea kind of started after a trip to New York. We went to the Lake George Donzi meet in 2022, and just pulling the boat, I didn't have any of this rig or anything. And this boat being what it is, all original, and it's kind of a family heirloom. We're only the second owners of this boat, and we were basically family friends with the original owners. This boat's been in our lives our whole lives, and so it's just very precious. And pulling this boat to New York was one of the most stressful things I've probably ever been through. It was, the weather was fine, everything was fine, but just the thought of bad weather, the thought of all the construction that I'm going to go through going through New York. Everybody that's driven up there knows how bad the roads are up there. It was more stress than I could handle. And so I did the trip. Everything went great. We won some awards, and the whole trip was fine. But after I got back from that, I said, this isn't happening again. So my buddy started looking around for trailers, because I had made the joke of making a custom trailer for the Donzi to fit inside my car hauler so that we wouldn't have to do this anymore. And he found this trailer for 150 bucks, kind of locally. And so I went out and looked at it. So this trailer originally started out as a roller bunk trailer. If you have the same belief system that I do, you'll agree with me that roller bunks should be illegal. And but the guy that I got it from had cut everything off of it. I guess he was using it he wanted to turn it into like a little flatbed trailer to haul his trash around and stuff like that. So he cut everything off the trailer that had the roller bunks a part of it. And it was just the trailer. It was just the frame and the axle. And so I said, okay. I picked it up, and he did have all the original bracketry with it, the rollers and all that stuff, which I didn't care about, but I took everything that came with it because I didn't know what I was going to do. So we got the trailer back, did all the measuring to see what would have to happen to get this thing inside my enclosed. And so what we ended up doing was cutting the axle and narrowing it by about 16 inches, and re-welded everything back together. And I was actually able to take a lot of the square tubing that was part of the roller bunk bracketry, and I cut it up and used it to make the uprights for the bunk trailer that this was destined to be. So all the uprights for the bunks, that is the square tubing that was part of all the roller bunk accessories. Just took that and got the angles to match what I needed to follow the contour of the bottom of the boat, and welded those all in place with the plates on top. Everything went pretty good. I've been welding for a couple years, nothing structural, nothing as important as this, and I kind of threw myself into it, and it was a great way to really learn what I needed to do. I've got a buddy, he's a welder, and you know, came by and gave me some tips on some different things, and it was the most practice I've had, and so far everything's been holding pretty well, so I guess I did okay. So once I got everything welded and the bunks on, it was time to get the trailer mocked up with the boat, which was another nerve-wracking part of this operation. So using the hoist in my garage and the chain fall that I have mounted to the header beam in my loft, we ended up lifting the boat off the trailer that it was on, which was terrifying, and you only had one shot to get that right. Now these boats do have the eye hooks on top. They're meant to be lifted by them, but this boat, 1975, they've never been used before. The boat is structurally sound, you know, as far as I know, but it just was still very, very nerve-wracking. But we did it. Everything went great. We lifted it up off of the trailer that it was on and did the first mock-up on this trailer after I'd built the bunks. Wanted to obviously see if all of my welds would hold, if it wouldn't just fall apart immediately. And luckily it held together, so that made me very happy and proud. So we did a test fit. We pulled it out and did the first trial. Let's see how it winches into the trailer and how that whole operation works, and all of that went great in and out. And so then it was time to paint the trailer, and so I had it sandblasted and primed from a buddy that we know that does big commercial trailers. So got it back, and then just did, there was a lot of rust pits and different blemishes on the trailer, and I wasn't trying to make this a show trailer by any means, but I definitely wanted it to look a little bit better than it did. So instead of putting all the time that it would take into a show trailer, I put some time into it, you know. So got that all done and prepped for paint, and then I ended up turning my entire garage into a paint booth and covered as many things as I could with plastic. And again, using the hoist worked out really good. I was able to lift the trailer up at various points and kind of almost rotate it 180 degrees while I was painting it to be able to get a straight, even coat on everything underneath, on the insides. And it went pretty good. I had the wood stove cranking, I had some heaters in there. It wasn't a very cold day, but I wanted to just make sure that the surface metal was a good temperature for everything to stick to. After I painted the trailer, it was just reassembly time, getting everything put back together. These wheels, these are actually, I was trying to find what they were from originally because they kind of looked familiar. And apparently they're off like an 85 Ford Ranger or something. They were kind of in rough shape, like everything else on the trailer, but I sanded them down and refinished them and painted the orange matching stripe on there, and all the little inlets of the wheel, got those orange as well, and just made it look a little bit better than it did for just the cheap, basic steely wheel that it is. So all of these decals I had made by a friend of mine in the Lake St. Clair Donzi Club, Riva. She does a lot of vinyl decal work. She's been working with boats her whole life. So she made these matching Donzi decals for the side of the trailer. They're 100% recreation of the decal that's on the side of the boat with the classic Donzi Z. Made those, and she also made the toter decals on the back of the trailer for me. So I did all the pinstriping on the trailer. I couldn't find a triple stripe that I liked, so I ended up buying this double stripe with the fat and thin line, and then I just cut another whole row of just the thin out of that, and I actually ended up freehanding the third line on the sides of the trailer, and to make it the triple stripe that I wanted. And it's, you don't really notice it, you know, if you look at it really quick, but the stripe system actually goes from 3 to 2 to 1 as you go forward on the trailer. Just a fun little trick I wanted to add to it. Well, I appreciate you guys spending any amount of time checking this project out. Like I said, I've had a lot of people ask questions about it, and some people doubt that it's possible, and I'll show you right here. It's a boat on a trailer, in a trailer. It works out pretty good. I got to learn a lot. I got to get better at some skills that I've been practicing, and it's just a great way to keep this piece of, you know, automotive history that we have here, keep it safe no matter if I'm just storing it or transporting it, going on a trip with it. I don't have to feel nervous about anything that I do. I don't have to look at the weather. I don't have to care about what roads we're gonna go down. I don't have to worry about diesel soot being all over it, rocks getting flung back at it. I just put it in the trailer and go anywhere I wanna go with it and not even have to think about it. So it's been working out pretty good. So just keep checking in on the channel, guys. If you like boat stuff, especially if you love Donzi stuff, these are some of the greatest boats ever made, and I plan on making some really neat videos. Very fortunate to have this boat here. We made some cool stuff with it earlier this year. That's out on my page. I'm in a couple Donzi clubs, some incredible people, some unbelievable boats, and I'm just gonna try to make some neat videos so we can all enjoy it together. Catch you guys next time.